Welcome to Minute Church for inspiration to go.
Do you believe in aliens? I do. Welcome to Minute Church. I'm Pastor Crespo. You know, pretty much all that's been on the news lately has been Ukraine. But there's one other thing that I've seen that seems to be cropping up in spite of all this coverage about the crisis in Ukraine, and that is simple. Aliens. That's right. All this exposure on aliens recently has gotten me to thinking about how people are so willing to believe in aliens, yet have a difficult time believing in God. You know, you could walk up to someone and ask them, just the average person, and say, hey, do you believe in aliens? And the average person would say yes. You know, when you look at the billions of galaxies that are out there and all the stars in the known universe, we'd be crazy to believe that we're just the only ones, right? You could walk up to someone and say, hey, do you believe that aliens have visited our planet? The average person would say, yeah, I believe that. I don't have a hard time believing that aliens have visited our planet. If you walked up to those same people and said to them, hey, do you believe that aliens actually were the ones responsible for creating life on this planet? You know, I think that the average person would say to you, yeah. I've seen it. I've had some of these conversations where they don't have a problem with that. As a matter of fact, some of our science fiction movies are based on that very premise, that aliens have seeded life on this planet. But if you were to go to that same person and ask them, hey, do you believe in God? You might get a different response. If you said to that person, hey, do you believe that God and angels have visited this earth? I'm sure you'd get a different response. If you said to that person, hey, do you believe that God created life on this planet? The average person would give you kind of a doubtful look. It is easier to convince an atheist in aliens than it is to convince them about God. I find that interesting. Now, here's something to think about. The Bible does teach us that there are more beings in the universe than just human beings. Matter of fact, that's right. In the book of Job, we read that where it talks about in Job chapter 1, something to check out. We're talking about the sons of God coming to present themselves before him, and Satan came representing the earth. But I want to share a Bible verse with you, which has nothing to do with Satan, has everything to do with God. In John chapter 18, when Jesus was finding himself coming up before Pilate, and they were accusing him, they called him a king, and he says this. He says, "You say that I'm a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth hears my voice." Friends, the Bible itself lends to the idea that there's more life in this universe than just human beings. As a matter of fact, the Bible tells us that we were seeded by an alien. That alien's name was Jesus Christ. He created life. Why is it that people have a hard time listening to him, listening to truth? Well, I think part of it is that both can be exciting, the idea of aliens, the idea of God, but one requires change. It's easy for people to believe in aliens because it doesn't mean anything, that they don't have to do anything. But not to believe in God may require some change. Friend, don't be afraid of the change. Just as Jesus was saying, he came to tell us the truth. And the truth is that we're part of a larger family than we realize. We're part of a universal family. We're God's children. And he came to show us that there's a better way than living just for yourself. And you know one really cool thing between Jesus and our average aliens? Is that we're looking to spaceships to see if we can find them. But Jesus is just a prayer away. Why don't you talk to him today? I'm Pastor Crespo, and that is Inspiration to Go.